You should be treating your makeup like art supplies, not a makeup collection. And by that I mean, use what you have first, make the most of it, and then buy more intentionally later. I just wanted to thank the person who made this comment on my last video, because I've always said that makeup was my version of painting, and that phrase of using makeup as supplies really just solidified that concept for me, because it just makes sense. Makeup is a tool. It's not necessarily a collection, although there are some people that collect it and that's a whole different thing. But as we head into the busiest time of year for influencers and brands, there is going to be a lot of temptation for limited edition products, sales, and new makeup to try. So I wanted to kind of kick off this season by helping you make the things that you own feel new and fresh again, as if you just bought them from the store. The point of the series is to shop our stash together before deciding what's worth shopping this holiday season. And in case you missed my last video, I started off the series by analyzing makeup looks that were inspiring me for the autumn season. I then took those makeup looks and created them into these colorful themed mood boards that are gonna help guide my autumn makeup capsule. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you check it out. I will link it somewhere up here and down here. Also, I forgot to mention in that video, if you create your own mood board, please send me an email, because I would love to see it and potentially feature it in a future video. But now that my mood board is finished, I have my inspiration. It is time to finally pick out the products I want to use. Let's finally start building my makeup capsule, starting with my base routine. I usually do a kind of everyday base routine, and then I have my full coverage base routine. This is really difficult to choose because I do rotate a lot of products, but I chose the things that I felt like I was gonna reach for more this autumn season. For something lightweight on the days that I don't really want to be wearing a lot of makeup, I chose a Supergoop Protectant. This says SPF 50. I mainly picked this out because I need to use it up. It expires early next year, I believe. Also, I just want to really feel in tune with this product, because I sometimes love it and then sometimes I feel indifferent about it and don't know if I actually like it. So let's see how it performs during the cooler season and also get some use out of it. For a fuller coverage product, I chose the Chanel Ultra Le Tint All Day Comfort Finish Foundation. This has been my long-term relationship, basically. I have been in a long-term relationship with this product. It is my go-to. I have the shade B50. I really like this for full glam days. It's reliable and it just looks right no matter what my skin looks like that day. It has since been replaced with the Tear liquid foundation. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to take a break from the Tear liquid foundation and come back to this and see if I still love it the way that I used to. I actually forgot to mention primer. This is the Hourglass Airbrush Primer, another long-term relationship of mine that I kind of was cheating on and completely forgot about until recently when I filmed a video with it. I still like it, I still love it, and I want to bring it back in my rotation to see if it's still that old reliable that I have just been missing out on. Maybe my makeup hasn't been looking as good because of this. I'm not usually wearing concealer on an everyday basis, but on full glam days it's a requirement. So I chose out the Hourglass what is this called? Vanish Concealer. This is in the shade Dune. I've had this for a while, and honestly, I'm just trying to finish it up. I really love it. It's the most full coverage concealer I've owned. I don't like it under the eyes. It's just really good for extra coverage. And then I also included the Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer, which I don't know if this was the best option because these are two matte concealers and I might want a glowy concealer, but it doesn't mean I'm tied to these. I include the Yummy Skin because I like it for the most part under my eyes, but I also am trying to build a stronger relationship with it and get to know better. We're kind of in the dating stages right now, so this is going to be my fall concealer go-tos, but if I'm not feeling it, I could obviously change it up. For everyday powder, I chose the CL Filter and Protect with SPF 30. This isn't my favorite powder, if I'm being honest with you. I am just trying to get use out of it and also build a relationship with it to see if it's something that I can fall in love with. It is quite a heavy powder, so I don't really love to use it even for baking. I find it kind of, if you use it wrong, it can really break apart your makeup or make your makeup look cakey. So a very light amount of this looks good, which I'm going to use this more for an everyday product because it has SPF 30. Again, it's not a replacement, it's a bonus. And I think the perfect time to use products like this is when I'm not on camera, because I kind of don't care how, I'm a little bit more flexible with the way that my makeup looks in person. It's okay if there are mistakes and things like that, and this is one of those products I, am fine if my makeup looks bad that day, just so I can kind of get to know it better. But of course, for full glam days, we are going to be including the fragrance-free, keyword, fragrance-free Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder, because this is one of my all-time favorites. This is the shade in Banana Bread. It's just a classic. It works well. Nothing more to say. I wish that she sold this at Sephora so I can get a nice little discount on it. And I hope it doesn't remain like a limited edition because I can't use the fragrance version. To continue the duo trend, I chose a lighter coverage foundation stick as a bronzer and then a really full coverage cream bronzer stick. The LYS cream bronzer stick is in the shade Harmony. This is super pigmented, looks beautiful on camera, and again, I just want to get some use out of it. Now for my everyday makeup, I chose the Essence foundation stick in the shade 230 because this foundation stick matches the color of my forehead perfectly. If you have my skin tone or if you've watched my videos, my forehead is a different color than the rest of my face and even neck and chest. It's because I think I just get tanner there and that's where the sun hits me. So in order to balance it out, I usually use a bronzer. But the issue with a lot of bronzers is it needs to be darker than my forehead or the same color. And I love how this one is like the natural color of my forehead. So it just blends more seamlessly on the everyday. It makes me look like I'm wearing, well, I guess it makes me look like I'm wearing almost no makeup on my forehead, which is the vibe that I'm going for. And then I kind of blend it into the foundation so that it doesn't look off. Shockingly, I have been in a cream blush stage of life, which is kind of insane because I've always been a liquid blush girly and I still always will be. If you watch my videos, you know the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush one in Peach Pop is my favorite, but these colors from Rhode scream autumn. They remind me of my mood board to the T, so that's why I'm including it. And I am very aware that Rhode Beauty is, well, Rhode Skin, I guess that's what they're called, is part of e.l.f. Beauty. I definitely do not support e.l.f. Beauty and their recent actions, but in terms of the product, I have really been enjoying it because of the shade options. The first color I chose is Sleepy Girl. This is more of a mauve rose color. It's kind of cool toned. On some skin tones, it will appear a little bit more gray than anything else, like it does on mine, but not in a bruise or dead kind of way. Another shade that I'm including is Toasted Teddy. You know her. You love her. It's just this brown, reddish, almost terracotta color. It was really well known in the summer because it gives you this burnt kind of tan cheek, but I do think it's also perfect for the fall and autumn season because it has that warmth to it. In terms of blushes, most of the looks that I ended up including in the mood board are more muted tone blushes. You can't even tell a lot of the pictures even have blush on, so technically I will either do a light hand of these blushes or I will just wear no blush and just some bronzer. With that being said though, we can start with the Mauve Beauty blush. This is in the shade M31, which is a mauve pink. This is one of my favorite blushes right now next to Pomelo Peach at House Labs because this is like the opposite of Pomelo Peach. It is a mauve rosy color. It's such a beautiful soft pink. It doesn't look red or orange on my cheeks, which I really like. I've been reaching for it a lot. I'm currently, trying Mauve Beauty products to hopefully do a video in the future. And then I also wanted to include more of a natural, almost flush blush in this capsule because a lot of the makeup looks I pinned have either a slight warmth to the cheeks or again there is no blush at all. It's more like a beige blush on the cheeks, and that's kind of what this one is giving. It's the MAC blush in the shade Humor Me. It's just gonna give you a really slight warm tone flush, which I really like and I think would be beautiful with a lot of the looks I want to create this season. Another, I would say, similar kind of blush. This one might be leaning a little bit more on the orange side of things. Kind of hard to explain. As you can tell, I have a hard time describing color sometimes, but this is the Tower 28 blush in the shade Iced Tea. It gives you that nice flush of warmth. It is more of a blurring blush. I really, really like this. I love using it as kind of a blush topper and a blush mixer. It's not too overpowering. And because this has a little bit more of that orange peachiness to it, I think it's going to pair well with any olive or green tone makeup I do. And the last blush I chose is the YSL Make Me blush in the shade 06, which this one is more of a rosy pink color with a little bit more warmth than the Mauve Beauty one that I shared with you. I have been loving this one as well. I just think it's just a classic pretty pink blush, nothing crazy, nothing unique about it, and that's what makes it perfect for an everyday blush or just to pair with something that I feel like is a little bit more out there so that the blush doesn't overpower either the lip color I'm wearing or the eye makeup I'm wearing. As for powder bronzer, I chose the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick. I like to use the contour shade as a subtle bronze, something that isn't too overpowering, but then there are some days I want a little bit more warmth to my face and I use this side, and then other days I just mix the two together. I have been getting a lot of use out of this. I love the versatility of it, and I think it's just going to be perfect for the fall. Another powder that I am including, I know we're at 3 powders, but I am a powder girl, okay? This is the Makeup Forever Powder Foundation, and I include this in my makeup capsule because it is a requirement to have some sort of powder foundation because it's just the perfect product to touch up your makeup with. It's also great if you want added coverage without using a concealer. As you can tell, this is kind of beat up and dirty, but it gets a lot of use and it's one of my go-to products. Okay, I did warn you, I'm kind of a lip fanatic. Okay, I could not choose 2 or 3 lip options because I have been loving a good lip combo lately. I think especially for the fall time, your lip combo is the best part of your makeup routine sometimes. I mean, honestly, this is pretty pared down. I'm not gonna lie, I had like 20 other ones in here, and I have a lot of lip products to play with now that I, review makeup. So it was really, really difficult to choose, but I used my mood board as my North Star and my guide, and this is what I ended up with. Starting with the MAC Powder Lip Color in the shade Chestnut. This is a deep, rich chocolate brown, and it leans more cool tone than it does warm tone. This reminds me of some of the images I put in my mood board. It's kind of like a grungy brown lip, can be paired with a mustard yellow makeup look, but it can also be paired potentially with a soft blue, and that's kind of what I'm thinking with this lip color. My current favorite red-ish lipstick, it's more of a brick red, is a shade Paramount from MAC Cosmetics, so I had to include it. It actually kind of reminds me of my nails. This is my favorite color right now, or in general, it's been my favorite color for the past year. So finding it in a lipstick is just, it's perfect, especially right now. I feel like it'd be perfect for even Christmas if I wanted to, but I chose this color because there were some brick red colors in my mood board. It's not as deep as I would like it to be, so I might need to pair this with a darker lip liner to give me that darker, richer red, but as a base, it's beautiful, and I honestly want to wear this color every single day. Now, a color that wasn't necessarily in my mood board is Hodgepodge by MAC, which is more of a neutral brown nude. This is fairly new in my collection. I did buy it during their like $15 lipstick day, and I haven't really made a look around this lipstick if I'm being honest. I know I like the color, but I haven't done a look that I've fallen in love with. So I want to include it in here because I do think it will work well with green eyeshadow. And honestly, because it's so neutral, it could go with maybe any other fall look that I do. So it potentially could be very versatile. This is the Rare Beauty lipstick in the shade Wise. I was going to include this in my autumn makeup capsule. However, I realized that when I flip through my mood board, I don't really see like any lip shades or even blush shades or even eyeshadow shades of this color in my mood board. So maybe I don't need to include it, and I do want to pare it down because I want to make sure I'm giving attention to the things that I really want to use, and this might kind of dilute that. So as much as I love this color, it's a really beautiful rosewood kind of purple with a little bit of brown tones to it. It would be beautiful for the fall and I can still reach for it, but I don't think it belongs in this capsule this month. Okay, so we took out one lip product. Let's see if maybe I can pare down these others. I don't think so. I think that these are all part of the mood board, so let's see. This is a lip balm by Half Magic Beauty in the shade Cinnawitch. It is basically a glittery metallic lip balm that I am obsessed with, and it's called Cinnawitch. So how could I not include it? Technically, this doesn't really, fit what's in the mood boards that I have, but it gives me inspiration, it gives me the vibes, and I kind of want to do a look around it, especially for an everyday makeup look with a little bit more sparkle. I think this would be beautiful, so I'm gonna include it anyways. This is currently one of my other favorite lip products at the moment. It's the NYX Lip IV Hydrating Gloss Serum in the shade Hydra Honey. That is a mouthful. I have been loving this because it's just a classic, beautiful pinky nude without being oversaturated or too light. It's really beautiful for medium skin tones, especially paired with a brown liner. So I wanted to put it in here because I have been reaching for it a lot, but now that I think about it, because I've been reaching for it a lot and I know it pretty well, I don't need to include it in this capsule because if I find that I need it for a look, then I can just reach for it. But the point of this capsule is to kind of remind myself and pare down the stuff that really will put me outside of my comfort zone, I want to experiment with, and I want to try new things with. So it doesn't mean, again, I can't use this, but I would prioritize the other lip colors before doing a look around this. This is the Peppermint Hot Cocoa Gloss Cream, Plumping Gloss Cream. Is that what it's called? I don't know. From Buxom. And it's definitely discontinued. And sometimes I think they relaunch it, so maybe it'll come out again soon. But I am running low on this. I only have maybe 5 uses left. It looks like there's more, but it's just because everything is kind of pushed towards the surrounding of the actual container. It's also this really beautiful soft warm tone pink, so it will be great to just top off certain looks if I feel like it needs a gloss. Now for an everyday makeup look, I always want to include a lip balm and a lip tint because that's what I wear for more natural makeup. So for the autumn season, I chose Laka 108 in the shade Salty. This is kind of like the Romance Juicy Lasting tint, but the shade is a little bit more warm toned and kind of like this burnt orange color. And then of course I had to include some type of lip balm in here. So this is the Rhode Peptide Lip Tint in the shade Espresso. And I just want to get some use out of this. I do like it. I don't have personally the problem with Rhode of like the grainy lip balm. I just love how glossy the peptide lip tints are. I find them to be kind of sticky in some ways, so it's more of a long-lasting lip gloss to me with a little bit of hydration in it. The issue with the shade Espresso is sometimes it's a little bit too deep, especially on the days that I wear no makeup, so I don't reach for it as often as my other lip balms. But because I'm kind of getting in that autumn mood, I want to feel warm and cozy, brown just screams fall to me, so why not have a brown lip balm and also get some use out of it. Now for the no makeup days or the days that I just really want more of a sheer lip balm for reapplication, I'm going to be throwing the Kofi Lip Snacks in my bag instead. This is in the shade Chai, which is just this really soft brown that smells exactly like a rich iced chai from the coffee shop. It's also a really rich, moisturizing, hydrating lip balm, which I feel like is necessary in in your makeup routine. And yes, I will be including all of these lip liners in the makeup capsule because I like my options, okay? And these can go with anything. It depends on the vibe, the look that day. So I'm going to include all of it. Also, the MAC ones are fairly new. Again, I'm really just trying to get to know some of these MAC lip colors. I have Night Moth, which is this really dark purple. I think it would add a lot of depth to a makeup look, especially if I try to recreate the dark lip, no eyeshadow or mascara vibe. And then we have Chestnut by MAC, a classic. Cork by MAC, another classic. Plum by MAC, Stone by MAC, Foxy Brown by Charlotte Tilbury, and this is Candid 5 by Hourglass. These all scream fall to me, so you can't make me choose either one, okay? So let's start talking about eyeshadow, which is the best part of this mood board, especially if you're someone who wants to play around and just be more knowledgeable about colors and eyeshadow. Doing a mood board and experimenting is the most artistically creative, fun part about it. So of course, you saw my mood board, and I think that this palette is going to fit it perfectly. Unfortunately, I don't know how to pronounce the brand, so I will link it down in the description. I absolutely adore this palette, and I think it was only on my radar because one of you had commented that this brand has some beautiful eyeshadows, and this is why I love y'all, because you give me some good freaking recommendations. So the first half of this palette I feel like is a good representation of one of the photos on my mood board, which is more of this kind of gray, taupey, dull eyeshadow look paired with a really cool tone nude lip. When I put the swatches of these eyeshadows side by side with the actual makeup look, I do think that this is going to be the perfect color story to recreate that. And then we have the green side of the palette, which I'm so excited to do more looks with. I've tried these greens before, but I haven't really delved into it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, we haven't gone on a real date and centered the look around this. I don't know if you can tell, but it has this really beautiful duochrome green. It kind of reflects to be, you know, the typical green gold duochrome. Then we have more of a neutralized olive green shimmer. This is a cool toned green, a lighter kind of softer, almost white green. This is more of a yellow toned green, which is nice to have some options in case I don't really want a cool tone green. Then we have these two shades, which are so similar, but this one I think leans more of a gray. And then this one is a gorgeous, more, I don't know what you would call this color. It's kind of like an aquamarine green. And then lastly, you have the deeper, almost emerald green. Green was all over my mood board, so if I did it right, I should be reaching for this palette very, very often. And then I created my own palette off camera with any of the remaining colors that I had in my mood board that I don't have a palette for. So this is a mixture of, I believe, Bella Beauty Bar, the Ocean Jewel palette, and some MAC Cosmetics singles, along with, I think, one ColourPop eyeshadow, which I'll go through. I also included the Mob Beauty Cream eyeshadows, especially this one. I don't have any yellow, poopy brown mustard colors in a powder formula, but I found this in a cream formula, so I thought it would kind of do the same trick, and maybe I would just pair it with other eyeshadows to give me that same yellowy, grungy vibe. As I said earlier, I am testing out some Mob Beauty products, and the cream eyeshadows are one of them. These formulas are like a cream to powder eyeshadow, and I've heard a lot of hype around them. They do crease depending on your eyelids and how you apply it, so there's a little bit of I wouldn't say a learning curve, but they're not crease proof is what I'm trying to say. I love this color because it's that perfect autumn yellow mustard color, or someone said in the comments ochre color, because I described it as a poopy yellow and they're like, maybe don't call it that. I think it's a hilarious way to describe it, so I'm gonna call it a poopy yellow just for the sake of it. Anyways, it definitely looks like the photo that I have as inspiration. It matches with kind of the sweater, and I think it would be so beautiful paired with Chestnut by MAC. Now, as I see these colors together, I'm like, Ooh, I don't know if that's gonna be the most flattering look, that's for sure, because the colors are very icky, but they do work well together, and maybe I'll be surprised, or maybe I'll hate it and I'll never ever wear a poopy yellow and a poopy brown together again. The vision is there, you know? And then I included M109 from Mob Beauty. This one actually isn't really an olive green, it's more of a bright yellow green, almost like a chartreuse. So I don't know if I'm really gonna get use out of this season, but I'm gonna include it in here just in case I find it inspiring or I want to pair it with something underneath as a base. I'm not really confident about this choice, but it doesn't hurt to include it because maybe I'll do something with it. So these are the purpley mauve pink swatches first. The top right here is actually from Bella Beauté Bar. I will label all of this in the description just because it's easier than me picking up the pans, getting my hands dirty, and trying to figure out what they're called. This is also from the Bella Beauté Bar Ocean Jewels palette. Both of these are. And these are MAC Cosmetics matte single eyeshadows. If you want ethereal eye makeup and you have olive medium tan skin tones, I really think this will flatter your eyes without being, you know, a colorful makeup look, but still stepping outside of your comfort zone. Then we have my terribly swatched blues. As you can tell, this one right here from MAC is looking a little patchy, but it does perform okay on the eyes. Also, the blues that I have, unfortunately, are not really muted blues. A lot of them are vibrant, bright blues. So I'm just gonna have to make do with what I have. I figured that if I mix any of these blues with maybe more of a gray or kind of a more muted base, then it would make the eyeshadow that I'm looking for, like in the photo. I also included some of the shimmers from Bella Beauté Bar's Ocean Jewels palette, which I think are drop dead gorgeous. Look at this little reflection. This shade in particular will really give me that ethereal eye vibe I'm going for, and I could pair this shade with an eggplant kind of reddish purple liner and it would give me the look that I'm going for. And the last three shades are kind of at random. I included a random black from the ColourPop Bratz palette. This is MAC Cosmetics and this is also MAC Cosmetics. I included these shades because they still scream fall and I might want to reach for them just for really basic eye looks. This palette might not be perfect, but it is perfect to me because I customize, I put it together, and I made it. And basically what it does is it takes the current palettes I own and allows me to look at the eyeshadows in a completely different light. A lot of these shades, you know, look very random, especially with this. Like if I removed this, I think it would look more like a cohesive palette. I had a lot of fun kind of picking out the colors and choosing what I thought would go together, and made me realize customizing a palette color store is harder than it looks. It kind of felt like I was putting a puzzle piece together. So if you love puzzles, try to create your own palette because that's the vibe that I got. It was very therapeutic. I also like to have my options when it comes to eyeliner because eyeliner is another essential in my makeup routine and makeup looks that I do. So I'm including all three of my Victoria Beckham liners. This is Victoria Beckham in the shade Cinnamon. It's a lighter brown with some shimmer in it. This is in the shade, I think it's called Antique from Victoria Beckham. It's called Bronze actually. It's a metallic golden brown color. And then we have Cocoa from Victoria Beckham, which is my all-time favorite smoky brown. Olive from the brand Wonder Skin. And this is Outline, I believe, from Urban Decay. I love when I swatch all of these and I'm like, yeah, they all give the same vibe. It's giving pumpkin patch, leaves are falling. All of these eyeliners remind me so much of autumn. And then of course I'm gonna include my staple products that I use for every makeup look, like the One Size setting spray, some eyebrow products, mascara, but these aren't new in my rotation and I use them no matter what. They are an essential, but I just wanted to show you them anyway in case you were wondering. Now that I've seen it all together, I'm even more excited excited to really put some looks together with some of my favorite products, but also things that I haven't had enough time to use and love and get to know. And just looking at it all laid out like this is very, very satisfying. I'm so excited to finally have my autumn makeup capsule created, because now I can start painting my face with some of these supplies. Now, I haven't even done my makeup with these products yet, but I am feeling that I get when I'm shopping, if I'm being honest with you. This really helped breathe new life to the products that I already own, which is the point. Even if the products are beat up, used, they're in a project pan kind of phase, I love that. I don't know about you, but I do think that used makeup is so freaking chic. And in case some of you are new, make sure that you're subscribed to follow this series, because sometimes you watch my videos and you forget to subscribe, which is totally okay, but this is your reminder. I am gonna take these looks from my mood board and try them on for myself, starting hopefully next week, so look out for that. I also wanted to share a quick update. If you can't tell by the background, I did get a new vanity, which I am so excited for. It kind of feels like the end of an era, because my IKEA vanity that, you know, was very beauty guru coded has graduated, and I have matured to this beautiful, more, I guess, elegant vanity is how you could probably describe it. It's very farmhousey, I'm not gonna lie. I basically was on Facebook Marketplace the other day and saw this vanity on sale for it was actually $200. I was able to get it down to $190, and the original price for this vanity is $999 plus tax plus shipping. Yeah, I know, crazy. I got a freaking steal. It's a perfect size. It has a full-length mirror and a good amount of like drawer space for all of my makeup, so I'm excited. And don't worry, I do plan to do a vanity tour, vanity organization sort of video within the next few months. You might have to wait a little bit because I need to like figure out how I'm gonna organize everything, but until then, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.